Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well out there. And today we're heading back to the year 1990. But before we do that, do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. Join me here. You're going to appreciate that. Shameless plug for our T Public store. Go on over there and check it out. We got some Thanksgiving shirts. This one from Blood Rage. We got a bunch of Christmas designs. Go over and check that out if you want. And I greatly appreciate that. We also got stickers, wall art, all kinds of cool stuff. So check that out. Link will be down below. And yes, I'm coming at you from a different location. Before we get into this review, I got kicked out of my normal shooting space by my son. He's currently playing Fortnite, so here we are in a different location in my house. But we're going to get through this. Today we're going to talk about Bird on a Wire. Bird on a Wire came out May 19th of 1990. It's PG-13. It's an hour and 50 minutes long. Had a budget of $20 million, and upon release, it made 70 in America and 138 worldwide. So this was a nice size hit that year. This was directed by John Badham. He had a lot of good movies in the 80s. He was a very solid director, and even into the 90s. I mean, he did Dracula in 79. He did War Games in 83. He did Short Circuit in 86. He did Stakeout in 87. Stakeout, Point of No Return with Bridget Fonda. A lot of cool movies. John Badham was a really solid director when he was making movies, and this is a pretty decent one as well. We'll get into it. In this film, we got Mel Gibson as Rick. He is this FBI informant who's been hiding under an assumed identity. He ratted out some drug dealers and some crooked FBI agents, and now he's living a life as a garage. He works in this auto garage as an assistant, and Goldie Hawn is in this film as well as Mariana, and David Carradine is in this film as Eugene, and Bill Duke plays Albert. They are the two main bad guys, although they have a little of an organization, but they are the two main bad guys in this film. And pretty much, Rick is working in this garage in Detroit, and his introduction is actually a really great introduction in this film. The gentleman who owns the garage comes looking for him, and he sees what he thinks is Rick's legs hanging out from underneath this car, and he's working, and all of a sudden the car comes down on Rick, and he's screaming for help, and the gentleman's like scrambling to try to help him, and he comes out from around the car laughing. He just played a practical joke, and that's how we're introduced to Rick, and it's a really good introduction. You get to learn a lot about this guy just from that scene. He's a jokester, but he did rat out this crooked FBI agent, and he's been under this assumed name, hiding out under assumed identity, and he's hoping never to be found. And basically he stumbles upon, his ex-girlfriend that he dated many years ago, Goldie Hawn, stumbles upon his gas station, and pretty soon the guys that he put away get out of jail. David Carradine gets out of jail, and he wants to kill Rick. And basically they track him down in Detroit. Rick and Goldie Hawn, Mel Gibson's character and Goldie Hawn's character hit the road trying to get away from him, trying to find the FBI agent that hid Rick there, who's much older now and has a little bit of Alzheimer's when we meet him later on. And it all culminates in this final action set piece at the zoo, which is a really well done and constructed action set piece. Although there is some cheesy moments here and there, but it's all in good fun here. Fun is what I would call this movie. This is a fun action comedy. And at the end of the day, David Carradine and Bill Duke get dispatched, and Rick and Mariana get to live happily ever after, or at least we assume. What to like about this film? Well, the cast. The cast is awesome. Mel Gibson at the height of his powers in 1990 with Goldie Hawn, who was also at the height of her powers, and they're both fantastic here. Goldie Hawn is charming, as she always was, and she plays off of Mel Gibson really, really well. And Mel Gibson's Mel Gibson. I mean, he could do a role like this in his sleep, but he definitely brings the energy and the fun. David Carradine he gets something to do. Not as much, he doesn't get as utilized as you would think, although he does, he's in the film quite a bit. He's the main bad guy, really. Him and Bill do get stuff to do, but this is more like a road movie where Goldie Hawn's character and Mel Gibson's character hit the road trying to get away from these people, trying to find this FBI agent to help hide Rick and try to get his way out of this because his identity was deleted off the servers from this other corrupt FBI agent. And again, I'll use the word fun. This is just a fun movie, and John Badham keeps the pace moving. We have our setup, and then we're off to the races. And it stops just enough to get a little bit more character beats and a little bit more plot, and then we're off to the races again. And I got to be honest, that's the film's strength. Even an hour and 50 minutes long, it just never feels like an hour and 50-minute long movie. I mean, the pace just keeps moving, and that's one of the big strengths of this film. Other than that, I think it's well directed. The score by Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer scored this film is fantastic. As Hans Zimmer is always awesome when he scores a film. I really don't have many complaints. I mean, it does get a little cheesy in weird spots. I mean, we're having a good time. It's definitely going for a more fun, not as much of a serious tone, although we do have a little serious parts here, but it's definitely going for a more fun action adventure kind of road movie kind of deal. And there's a few moments where there's some really off the wall cheeseball stuff that happens that kind of messes with the tone, even though we are going for a more fun tone here. So that would be one of my negatives. Is it a perfect film? No, but it's a hell of a good time. It's been a long time since I've seen this film, probably at least 25 years. And it's a movie I remember renting quite a bit in the 90s from Broad Street Video, my hometown. And Kino Lorber released a Blu-ray with a nice transfer on it. And I watched it the other night, and you know what? It brought all those fun memories back to me watching it back in the 90s. And this is a really fun time. It really is. If you haven't seen it in a while, I would highly recommend sitting down and watching this. Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn play off each other fantastic. They're both fantastic here. And like again, John Badham, his shorthand direction and keeping the pace moving is the greatest assets to this film. Mel Gibson actually talked Goldie Hawn into doing her own stunts. Like, he kind of egged her on, and she ended up doing most of her own stunts in the film, and she was very proud of that. And actually, originally, Mel Gibson wasn't supposed to be in this film. Kurt Russell was supposed to star in this film alongside his real-life partner, Goldie Hawn. But Kurt Russell was a little bit busy on a little film called Tango and Cash, and he had just worked with Mel Gibson on a film called Tequila Sunrise, another really kick-ass movie. If you've never seen that, check it out. And he suggested Mel Gibson, and they talked to Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson accepted the role, and off they went. At the end of the day, this is a very solid, very fun early 90s action film. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and there's a lot of fun to be had. And Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn are just bliss here in the roles they're playing here. So at the end of the day, I would give Bird on a Wire an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for Bird on a Wire. Have you ever seen this one? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Share this video. I greatly would appreciate that. I'll be back soon with some more reviews. But until next time, bye.